Hello, my name is Dr. Karla Hunter. I'm an associate professor of communication studies at South Dakota State University, and I, together with my colleague, Dr. Joshua Westwick, are honored to present to you this pedagogical idea we have called a proven public speaking course design to help reduce speakers' anxiety. This idea shares our course design as a model for a public speaking course crafted specifically to help our students reduce their public speaking anxiety. This design and the quantitative measurement of its outcomes have been effective in both online and face-to-face course delivery modes, providing our department with assessment data to help communicate the course's success to our administration. My passion is empowering students, professionals, and community leaders by helping them build and enhance their sense of interpersonal voice. My work with Dr. Westwick and our retired mentor, Dr. Lori Haletta, tests and disseminates evidence-based strategies and exercises for overcoming communication anxiety, increasing communication competence, and optimizing listening, teamwork strategies, and conflict management skills.
Hello, I'm Dr. Joshua Westwick, Associate Professor of Communication Studies at South Dakota State University. My overarching research question asks, how do we improve the human experience through communication education and instruction? A bulk of my research efforts with Drs. Hunter and Haletta have focused on assessment within the basic communication course, which is designed specifically to strengthen our course and the experience of our students, especially for those students who are struggling with issues of anxiety and apprehension. Together, Dr. Hunter and I continue working to establish a rich and meaningful research agenda on the study of communication apprehension, public speaking anxiety, and willingness to communicate. We hope that we can apply what we learn to improve our own instruction and to offer tools to others to improve their public speaking capacities.
We live in Brookings, South Dakota, which has a population of 22,943 people. South Dakota State University is a public university, and it's the largest institution of higher education in our state. We're located in a rural community about an hour from the largest city in the state, Sioux Falls, which has a population of 164,676. In this workshop, we'll be presenting the background and research for our pedagogical idea. First of all, by talking about what public speaking anxiety is, and secondly, how common it is. Our second area will discuss South Dakota State University's proven course design for reducing PSA in the basic speech course. Thirdly, we'll discuss some outcomes of our research, including the measurement of our course success and the Speech Center at South Dakota State University, which resulted from our work together. And finally, we'll give you some strategies for helping your students cope with anxiety and increasing their communication competency. So what is public speaking anxiety? PSA is a form of social anxiety that is specific to the fear of giving a speech. It can be activated before, during, or even after a speech. If you would like more information about PSA and the research surrounding it, you can see the following resources. How common is PSA? Most public speaking students experience it to at least some degree, and a lot of scholars say that everyone experiences public speaking anxiety at some point. In fact, it's the most common form of communication apprehension. 30 to 40% of Americans suffer from PSA to a degree that impairs their ability and willingness to speak publicly. Some common symptoms include sweating, shaking, increased heart rate, and tension in the speaker's muscles. Severe physical consequences can result from high levels of public speaking anxiety, as can relational, emotional, and even financial problems. PSA measurement was really pioneered by a scholar named James McCroskey. In 1970, he created the Personal Report of Public Speaking Anxiety, or the PRPSA, which is the measure that we use to look at our own students' public speaking anxiety before a course really gets underway, and then again at the end to measure our course's impact on the PSA of our students. McCroskey stated that the mean PSA for a United States citizen is 114.6, and that's very close to our research pretest mean of 114.83. Women have historically reported higher levels of PSA than men, and although our pedagogical idea manuscript doesn't discuss this area of research, it is something that our research has looked into as well. McCroskey said that any findings linking anxiety to biological sex are very difficult to explain biologically. He said that the differences in men and women and their public speaking anxiety are probably explained by differences in socialization and acculturation. He has done a lot of international scholarship exploring CA in Puerto Rico, Japan, and Finland, and also looking at the concept of quietness in Sweden. And he compared and tested various rival methods for measuring communication apprehension and PSA, and even worked toward the specific development of intercultural and interethnic measures of CA. Unfortunately, Dr. McCroskey died in 2012, and all of our work has been dedicated in his honor. Our course design as a treatment for PSA is based on the work of James McCroskey, who tested forms of treatment including systematic desensitization, meaning simply having students use relaxation techniques such as deep breathing and visualization while they were visualizing giving speeches and while they were actually engaging in giving speeches. He also used videotaped speeches and had students watch their own speeches to try to desensitize them, and cognitive restructuring, or just giving students new ways to think about the fear of public speaking. Since then, a lot of scholars have found that a speech course designed to infuse a three-pronged approach to treatment, including graduated exposure therapy, cognitive modification, and skills training, provides the most effective relief for students' PSA. South Dakota State University's course includes such a three-pronged approach. Our course design begins with a very simple speech, and then it stacks speeches of increasing difficulty as the semester progresses and student learning and experience increases. Our course design also relies on strong training for our instructors, most of whom are graduate teaching assistants. Instructors are taught how to give effective feedback, telling a student about at least one or two strengths of his or her speech for every weakness mentioned. For more details about our instructor training or about our course design, please see our manuscript submitted for this conference and some of the links therein. We have been enthusiastic to find semester after semester that we have had measurable and statistically significant PSA reduction for our students, and we've had a chance to document that in multiple studies. In 2014, we found that our students' mean score of 102.19 in the post-test was significantly lower than the pretest mean of 114.83, a statistically significant difference at the level of 0.001. And then in 2015, we tested the differences in the means of PRPSA for our students at the beginning and the end of our online courses, and also found a significant reduction in our students' PRPSA scores. Using the PRPSA not only to measure our course's effectiveness in helping our students, but also for assessment, which has become a much more important topic in the United States, has helped to satisfy our administration's demands to know measurable outcomes of our course designs. McCroskey in 2007 said, "It is important that we recognize that developing assessment programs is much more difficult for some departments and faculty members than others. That's why our 2014 publication was actually geared toward using our course design and our assessment design as a model for institutions that were new to the idea of academic assessment." The PRPSA meets the 3 criteria for assessment measures set forth by Benjamin et al. In 2009 in the Council for Aid to Education. And as a result of our assessment, we've received support financially and resources for a speech communications center, or otherwise known as a speech lab, to aid students in further PSA reduction and to help us continue to research the best practices toward that end. We thought you might like to know a little bit about our Speech Center at SDSU, so the next few slides will discuss how it came to be and some of the challenges we faced and overcame in launching our Speech Center. First of all, we really needed to make sure our Speech Center was linked with our university's strategic planning initiatives, which deal mainly with having an impact on our students, on our community, and on the surrounding communities. We needed to secure some support for it and gain funding, and to make sure that we integrated our mission with the university mission and the college mission, as well as the departmental mission statements. We also needed to make sure we planned and designed the Speech Center very carefully to ensure that the physical space met the needs of our students. As you can see from this photograph, we have very subdued colors, blue and a lighter yellow, to set students at ease when they walk into the Speech Center. And that was part of our design. We have 2 actual labs, and each of them have the same type of comfortable space. We needed to connect with community partners and make sure that we standardized the process so that each student would get a similar experience from their visit to the Speech Center. Finally, we needed to make sure that the Speech Center was integrated into our department well, and that our GTAs were well trained to give our students services through the Speech Center, and that included some software to schedule the visits and also a rubric to help the graduate teaching assistants give the students the same type of feedback they would need to optimize their outcomes in their actual graded speeches in the classroom. Then we needed to make sure we were accountable to provide assessment to show the measurable outcomes of our Speech Center. The Speech Center initially was open and required for all students in the basic course. Each student had to visit it at least one time throughout the semester. So you can imagine how busy it was and what a great undertaking it was for Dr. Westwick, who at the time was our director of the basic course. Now students actually have the option of using the Speech Center's services, and many of them choose to. But when it was required and now that it's optional, the procedures were the same. Students receive feedback on one of their major speeches while they have the speech recorded, and then the recording is given to the student to watch when they go home. Students complete a written self-evaluation of their recorded speech to help them reflect on their own experience and to be able to help them to gain more confidence as they see some of the different tactics that they can adopt to help improve their own outcomes. The next 3 slides share some instructional strategies and some student strategies for overcoming PSA. First, we explain to our students that feeling anxious is normal. We try to remove some of the mystery behind public speaking and public speaking anxiety. We self-identify with our students and, if possible, tell them stories of our own PSA experiences and how we worked or even still work to overcome our own PSA. We provide a detailed, systematic approach to skills training that's described in our pedagogical document as well as the links therein. And we design specific course assignments that allow for graduate. We ask our students to prepare and practice, practice, practice. Choose topics that interest them, talk to themselves positively, visualize themselves successfully giving the speech and how they'll feel when it's over, and to realize that the nervousness exists, and then just make a list of fears and see which are realistic and which they might be able to do something about. Seek out additional student support services at your school or university, like a wellness center or counseling center. Use self-assessment measures to help students understand their own anxiety, and be flexible while maintaining the integrity of your course. Thank you so much for allowing us this opportunity. Sharing our research and pedagogical strategies with you across geographical and cultural boundaries has been among our most treasured privileges. Please let us know if you have ideas you would like to share with us, or if you would like assistance testing your own students' PSA. Please don't hesitate to contact us if you have any questions or would like to discuss any of the materials in this presentation further, or just to tell us your own ideas. We would love to hear from you. Thank you.